Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time once again. It's time for that podcast heard, well, around a few places, by tens of listeners. It's time for the Department of Understanding Humans, the podcast. That's right, the podcast, featuring your ringmasters for the day, that stupendous giggle-snorting gal, Friday herself, Rachel Wynn, and now her co-host actually has a name, that cranky clown you love to adore, Chris Meyer. And on with the show!
D.U.H Department of Understanding Humans, yeah!
Hello.
How do you do?
I do fine. How do you do?
I do well. I do well. Boy, oh boy, what a show last night.
Oh my God, I feel so dirty.
I literally feel like I just watched my daughter get it on, mistakenly walk into the room and go, yeah, oh God.
I
was not prepared for that.
No, I wasn't prepared for that either.
I was completely not prepared for that.
And so if anybody has not watched episode 2 and you're listening to our podcast, stop listening now. Because
Should we do the disclaimer?
Dum disclaimer time.
If you're listening to our podcast and you haven't watched episode 2, season 8 of Game of Thrones, stop listening now. We'll give you 5 moments to stop listening now and find something else to listen to.
Moment 1.
5, 4, 3, 2. You're shit out of luck. Here we go. On with the podcast.
Okay, so holy crap. What an emotional roller coaster that entire episode was. And
what a great episode.
It was an amazing
it was an episode about nothing, really.
But it was about everything.
It was about everything.
It was important to everybody. I mean, I know everybody's talking about it, and it's all over. I mean, within a half hour, there were memes, there were articles, there were posts. I mean, golly. And what was really funny was we had paused it for a second and started playing it again.
Right.
And when you texted me at the same time, I was like, I know, right? We had literally just seen it. So we were in sync with how you were, like, the time frame that you were watching it. And so I just started laughing. I'm like, yeah, Chris is at the same spot we are. And he had the same reaction we did. So what we're referring to is Arya, her last night on Earth, as far as she knows, this may be the last living day. She wanted to reconnect with humanity and feel something that only humans who let themselves be vulnerable, feel. And she and Gendry got it on.
And she had been eyeing the bastard blacksmith, Robert Baratheon's bastard son, watching him.
Oh man, when he was all like sweltering and smoky and sweaty, you're like, oh girl, what you doing? And then when she's throwing, and my favorite part, she's throwing the daggers. She's like, I've seen death. I know what it looks like. I want to see this face. And as she's walking off and he makes that face, I look at the husband and I go, he is hard as a rock right freaking now.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, that's crude, but seriously, bow. Yeah, Gendry. And
so Arya was going after Gendry. And you could pretty much just play this.
She's a strong top, we'll say that.
As Arya. Now you're never going to look at Arya the same way without hearing this. So, anyway.
But I gotta say, it was... Okay, all right. It was really well done. They could have really gone for a really disgusting value on that, but I think they did it really well. And I read an article.
I do too. I think they kept it well.
They did keep it well. They kept her still, even though it was a moment that stepped her into being an adult, literally. It was also there was still a little bit of her that was left that was very innocent, because we didn't get the whole, Khaleesi full sex on practical porno moment. We got a fade to black
you're right.
with a very hinted nude scene. And I read an article that Maisie Williams was like, because when she was 11 or 12 when she started, and the guy who plays Gendry is like 10 years older than her in real life. And so,
oh yeah, at least.
And so she, he was looking at it kind of like, oh God, this is really awkward, but we're going to have some fun with this. Right. And she was looking at it like, okay, so when I signed on, I didn't sign a nudity thing because I was underage, but now, I'm in my 20s. And so when I talked to the guys when I talked to the creators about doing the scene, they said, you do what's comfortable for you. We will show as much or as little as you want. And so I was like, okay, that's a really good response for her, because and what she showed was very tasteful. I was really pleasantly surprised. Of course, I couldn't stop thinking about it all night, because I'm like, oh my God, that was Arya's butt.
we were watching it going, yeah, they're going to get it. Wait. No, wait. Your mind started processing it, going, "Yeah,
wait, no. Okay.
Oh, this is like, no, this is wrong."
I scrub my eyeballs out.
But you're happy. You're happy for the scene, but you're going.
You're kind of like, "Oh, I shouldn't have seen that. I shouldn't have seen that. I shouldn't have seen that."
Wait, you're still disguising yourself as a boy named Ari. No, wait, no.
Ari.
No. Ari. Needle.
Ari. So, moving on from that image, because why not?
And now, yes, a girl has a name.
A girl has a name, and it's probably like, oh my God. So pivotal moments that I cried at. I actually teared up when Sansa and what's his face?
Theon had the reunion.
They had that hug, and I was like, oh my God, why am I crying? Because you kind of realize the bond that they had as a result of all they had been through. And I'm like, you think she's in love with him?
Could be. You never know. You never know. And I don't know how that's going to play out. I
don't know either. But they were eating together during the musical montage.
Mm-hmm.
They ate together, so that was good. What's up with the Knight of the Seven Realms? I am so excited about Brienne of Tarth being Brienne.
Brienne of Tarth.
And
I actually teared up at that moment.
I did too, and she smiled. Was that like the best smile ever? All 8 seasons. Did she ever smile like that?
No, she didn't.
So great.
I will say, because Tormund comes bolstering in.
I love it.
Okay, but the best moment of the night, the reunion, it's Ed and Jon, one of the last of the 6 friends from the Wall.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
They're gonna go hug, and then Tormund.
Yes.
You've missed me. And he's looking around. He's like, "This is our last night on Earth. Is the blonde woman here?
It's a big woman here.
It's a big woman here."
Yeah.
He's looking around like, where is she?
But it's funny because the camera, it's like following Jon, and he's like, "I'm going to hug my friend." Sidebar. That was awesome.
like the dog that you're not looking for comes and pounces you.
Speaking of dogs, Ghost is back officially.
It's good to see Ghost back.
Good to see Ghost back. There was no huge, oh my God, reunion, which I think a lot of people were expecting. He just kind of showed up on the wall, doing nothing, just standing there.
So I'm wondering if Nymeria will show up for Arya.
I don't know, because in last season, Nymeria was running a pack out in the wild. So I'm not entirely sure. Anything's game at this point.
Anything's possible.
A lot of people were kind of giving HBO or the creators some shit about how it was like, oh yeah, you promised more Ghost for the last season, and we get him sitting on the wall doing nothing. But I'm kind of like, okay, that's a precursor. You got to think that it's a precursor to something.
You have to look and see how much they packed into that episode.
Oh my God, let's so
kind of run it down
much.
Here. You packed in a lot of reunions.
Yes.
You packed in the interaction of Sansa and Daenerys.
That was a very interesting meet. That was a very
They were
interesting
kind of getting friendly with one another.
Tete-a-tete.
Tete-a-tete, yes. They were kind of getting friendly with one another until Sansa was like, what about the North? That's great. You're having sex with my brother and everything. But what about the North?
Right? Yeah, you're in love with my brother, but I want my home. I don't want to bend a knee. And she was very...
I'm not bowing to you.
It really shows the political, strength and evolution of Sansa. She's become
I kind of have a feeling... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, she's kind of become a political powerhouse. That's all I was going to say. You have a feeling?
I have a feeling at the end of the show, if ifs and buts, because I don't know what's going to happen. I have a feeling if it all works out, okay?
If some buts,
Sansa may go take over the Eyrie. Because you look at how Sir Royce is now right there with her.
Right.
And Sir Royce was very loyal to Jon Arryn of the Eyrie and the Gates of the Moon and everything else. He was very loyal to the Vale, to the Lord of the Vale.
What happened to the young man who was Lord of the Vale?
Robin is still in the Vale, and let's face it, Robin's weak.
Goofy.
Robin Arryn is not only just weak, but he's like
goofy.
He's goofy, stupid, weak, and all the lords of the Vale kind of go, yes, that's wonderful, my lord. And they're like, oh, crap, he's going to be leading us?
But if she went to the Vale, do you think, would she go to the Vale with... I
don't know. I don't know. I don't know how it would play out. I'm just saying if what
if
could
they even
happen.
survive. I mean, come on.
If they even survive.
Next week we're fighting, I think. Are we actually fighting next week?
But we're fighting next week. You have 4 more episodes left, so
aren't they supposed to get
logic would say they fight. They fight and survive. You got to remember, Cersei's still back in the South with the Golden Company.
And they still have to figure that one out, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
So so I'm thinking they could literally you think that they could drag out the fight for 2 episodes?
Oh, I think easily, because now we've been disappointed a little bit with the time of our episodes.
Aren't they supposed to be getting
hour and a half? Aren't
they supposed to be getting progressively longer?
Right, they're supposed to be getting progressively longer. So maybe next week will be hour 15. Maybe let's hope so. I'm hoping HBO keeps up with that, because an hour is just not enough for the season.
I'm looking it up now.
You've got to look it up, because it's our Game of Thrones podcast. We're forgetting everything else that's going on.
Happy Easter.
Just talking about Game of
Shabbat Shalom.
Happy Easter. Yeah, we had Easter.
Happy
Shabbat
Passover.
Shalom. We had Passover. Great.
I'm sure we could talk about a whole bunch of political stuff, and we could definitely talk about some horrible things that happened over in Sri Lanka, but we won't.
Yeah, but we're not gonna.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. As a side note, the whole Sri Lanka thing, in case nobody saw it, there were suicide bombers that attacked 3 separate. There were 6 suicide bombers that attacked 3 separate locations in Sri Lanka, killing a lot of people on Easter. And it's making some waves and some headlines, and just pray for them, please. And yeah. Okay. So, Season 8, Episode 1, running time 54 minutes. Episode 2, 58 minutes. Episode 3 will be 1 hour, 22 minutes. Episode 4 will be 1 hour, 18 minutes. Episode 5 will be 1 hour 20. Episode 6, 1 hour 20.
Okay.
So, I mean, an hour 20, okay. An hour 18? That's just random. Anyway, but so we had a lot of reunions. We had a lot of loose ends kind of tied up.
We did. We had some loose ends tied up. I love the interaction of Tyrion and Jaime. Well, here we are, where I didn't think I would end up dying in Winterfell.
Yes. And I love how he points out that they're all there to defend Winterfell, and all of them at some point fought Winterfell.
Right, exactly. And, I mean, every one of them fought Winterfell at one point, and there they are to defend Winterfell.
Yes, and what do you think about Dany's response to Jon?
She could end up being the villain this season, because it was kind of like that would mean you are the legitimate heir to the throne, not me. And it sort of threw her off as going, wait a minute, everything that I've worked for, everything that I fought for, you mean you're telling me you're the legitimate heir? Right,
but she made a point, and here's two things that I want to keep in mind as we go forward. Jon gave up his crown for the North. Mm-hmm. Okay, a crown that he was given to by the people. He wasn't some genetic heir, right? The other thing is, she pointed out, so your best friend and your brother are the ones who provided you with this information. That seems a little strange, doesn't it? Now, granted, on some level, he was telling her also to soothe her mind about the evilness that everybody portrayed her brother as.
Right.
Like, look, your brother's not that bad. He actually married her. And by the way, as a side note, I came to happen.
Yeah.
But I honestly think, and had they had more time to say it, this is my take, this is my ifs and buts, but if he had more time to actually say it, he might have actually said, no, I don't want it. Because he's never said he wanted that power. He didn't even want King of the North. That's, so he took it because they gave it to him, and he's a natural leader, but he doesn't want to be a leader. And so I wonder if after, because right now they're fighting side by side, and it looks like she's not, I mean, I don't think she's going to be so catty as to sit there and be like, oh, during the war, let me kill him, Right, exactly. Because she actually loves him. And maybe if they actually have a chance to sit down and talk about it, hopefully she won't just do something stupid before they can figure it out, because I don't think Jon wants the Iron Throne.
No, I don't think Jon wants the Iron Throne either. I don't think he can handle it,
Yeah, no. I mean, she's led armies and worlds to this point. So, like, if they're smart, to me, I'm thinking if they're smart, she takes the Iron Throne and he takes the North.
But even the Unsullied are now going, we don't want to be here anymore.
Right.
That was interesting. That was an interesting dynamic, seeing Grey Worm and Melisandre go.
Melisandre, yeah, not the Red Witch.
Melisandre. Kind of go.
If in episode 6, it's at the end of the season, if they're not somewhere on a beach with their toes in the sand, I'm going to be really pissed off.
Grey Worm deserves some love. Grey Worm has been through some shit, boy.
Dude.
Grey Worm.
Loyal Grey Worm.
One of my favorite scenes, and there was a lot of favorite scenes, but one of my favorite scenes, two of them, and I got to talk about, was Sir Davos serving food. And the little girl goes, where do we go to fight?
Oh my God.
And he almost
exploded.
She had a face like the Princess Shireen.
Yes.
If you notice, she had scars on her face like Shireen did. And you kind of saw him have that look of, he just, the heartbreak.
Yeah, he took a second. He's like, he took a second. Like,
he had to take a moment.
Yeah. And then
really there was
sweet.
Gilly.
There was Gilly. Was she pregnant?
She could have been. I couldn't tell. Because Sam is now... Sam Tarly is, killer of Thens, slayer of White Walkers, lover of women. I love that.
I love that
Ed's just going on about it like, the world's ending now. Samuel Tarly is lover of women.
He's also the head of his household. He didn't want that.
Let's talk about that. Before I get to the second seat, let's talk about that for a second, because that was a great point. You have Dany going on and on and on about Jaime killing her father. The vengeance she's going to get. But remember the interaction she had with Sam?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I burned your brother and your father. I mean, sorry.
Oops.
I just found that very interesting, that she's just kind of like, yeah, it kind of happened. Burned your father, burned your brother. You know, and Sam's like, oh, all right. Well, I gotta go now. Thank you.
Right. Pardon me. But I don't think, did she actually threaten what, like, she was kind of just saying, like, play, I don't know. You know how they do, they
yeah, they kind of talk about it.
You know, she's peacocking.
But she got talked out of it. She got voted down by
Lady
everybody around
Sansa.
her. Lady Sansa, Lady Brienne.
Yep.
Tyrion.
John.
Yeah, John. I thought Tyrion was going to be a dragon snack the way she was acting, like, you dummy.
Go Lord Mormont. Because that was, or Mormont, whatever. He's not Lord, is he? Jorah.
No, he's just Sir Jorah.
Sir Jorah. So go him, because he did that. He's like, and if you take my advice, there's two things I would suggest, and if you'll take it. One of them was to go talk to Sansa, and one of them was to give Tyrion a break. And she did both. She took his guidance. Now, I mean, it was interesting, the tete-a-tete with Sansa, you know, they're sitting there, Sansa, they're sitting there, and it's all, oh, yeah, business. Wait, what? Hand remove. Just
yeah, exactly. Wait a minute. So, my second favorite scene, and it has to deal with the third power woman in the North, because you know Sansa is power woman. Daenerys is now power woman.
Lady Mormont?
Little Lady Mormont.
Oh, watch out for that little piranha.
I'm not going to go in the pit. And Jorah is like, you are the future of our house. You've got to go in there. You're the future. You've got to. I will fight and I will stand, and you cannot stop me. You cannot make me. I fought at the Battle of the Bastards. I'll fight now. Okay.
Thank you, cousin.
Yeah, I love you. And he's just kind of like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, right. Whatever. You little piranha. But she is a force to be reckoned with. I don't want to mess with her.
Oh, hell no. I mean, you know, she makes Chuck Norris weak in the knees. I mean, let's face it.
Little Lady Mormont.
Little Lady Mormont. Little Lady Badass is what she is.
She is Little Lady Badass. Those whites better watch out. Wow.
The glare that she has. And she has that glare of smack you up. She doesn't look like she's gonna beat somebody that owes her money, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
I may be short, but I can bite your knees off.
Stab you in the kneecaps.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great night. And then, of course, you know, it ends with the whites showing up.
It ends with the White Walkers showing up early.
Or was that kind of on time? Because they said before sunrise.
Yeah, no, it was right before sunrise. You're right.
So, you know, right. It was kind of, you know, it was still dark. And, you know, the teaser for next week, it really doesn't tell you much because a lot of it we've seen already.
It sure does not. But I'm very surprised that Bran goes, he wants me. Use me as bait. We can draw him closer. And I mean, okay, and I'm sorry, we gotta talk about it with Jamie and Bran. Jamie sort of looked at Bran like, what the has happened to you? You are like totally wigging me out, man.
Right? And he's like, why did you tell them? He's like, because you won't help us win this if you're dead.
Right, exactly.
Like, oh.
The things we do for love. When he said that during the whole trial.
It's like, ooh.
And I mean, okay. As far as a show, and this is why I'm a big fan of Game of Thrones, and the characters that are left have developed. And we talked about this in a previous show.
Yeah, the character arc.
Sansa's character arc went from spoiled little girl to she's pretty much Catelyn Stark.
Yeah, she is.
She has become her mother.
Yeah, she has.
Okay. Arya went from little tomboy to cold, calculating, I will do what must be done.
Assassin.
Jon Snow went from wide-eyed boy that was, I'm ready for war and I'm going to serve, to going, I just want to keep people alive.
Yeah.
He has become Ned Stark.
He has. I just want to protect the North. He has
become Ned Stark in the best way possible. All he wants to do is just protect the North. That's it. Jaime has grown as a character.
Yes, he
Jaime
has.
From being this arrogant, hot shit, no one's gonna, fuck you, no one's gonna be, I'm Jaime Lannister, no, best in the world, to going, look at everything I've done. Look at everything I've done and I can't get it back.
The moment between him and Brienne, when they're out in the field.
It was a good moment.
And she's like, what is wrong with you? And he's like, what do you mean? She's like, why are you here? What the heck? What is going on with you that you have sat here before you couldn't go 5 minutes without insulting me? He's like, do you want me to insult you? She's like, no. Well, then what's the problem? What is going on with you? And he's like,
I can't serve.
Yeah. I may not be the Kingslayer that I was, and I can't fight like I could, but if you'll have me, I'll fight the best way I can for you. And she was just like, yes. Which made him knighting her even more sweet. It was almost like sweet. It was like foreplay for them.
It was a sign of respect. How much he respected her.
Yeah, it was. That was a huge sign of her. Do you think she's gonna? I know she's got a thing for him. I know she's got kind of.
I think she's got a thing for him. But if there is any justice in the world,
come on, Tormund, come on.
They gotta have Tormund and Brienne end up with each other. You know. The other dynamic of the show, and it was a small dynamic, but the Hound. The Hound, Dodrick, and Arya. Because they met together. Dodrick, the one-eyed...
Yeah, the guy with the voice. Oh, God.
The voice.
That voice. He's got to be doing some voiceover stuff.
The flaming sword, you know.
How do they do that? I want the flaming sword. I want that sword.
It's part of the Lord of Light. It's part of the Red Woman. Now, the Red Woman is around somewhere. Melisandre is around somewhere because she cannot die outside of Westeros.
Right. She has to die in that land. But we still have 4 more episodes for her to come back.
That's right. So, the interaction of the Hound as he's drinking and looks at her, you know, I made you stronger. You didn't kill me. And it just kind of going on and on, bantering back and forth. And then, Dodrick and the Hound are sitting there talking, and Arya gets up and goes, be damned if I'm going to sit here and listen and talk with you old miserable shits, and walks off.
On the last night on Earth. If this is the last night on Earth, I don't want to be here with you miserable shits.
Miserable shits.
I think she called them old miserable shits or something.
Old miserable shits.
But there was a cute interaction, especially between the 3 of them. You know, it kind of revisits, and that's one of the things that I liked about this episode. They revisit the old for a moment, clean it up, heal something, and then move on. And they did that in a couple pockets of things, and I really appreciated that. It was nice. It was really nice. I'm really going to have a hard time losing people in the next episode because you know people are going to die.
I am too. So, okay, I think you're people that are going to die. I think Jorah isn't going to die. He's got the Valyrian sword. He's got Heartsbane. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he's got one of the weapons that can kill White Walkers. Kill...
Valyrian steel can kill the walkers?
Valyrian steel. Well, they discovered that at Hardhome. Jon stabbed a walker with...
and it shattered him.
Longclaw, and it shattered him. Did the same thing in... when they were bringing the undead
to the
back.
Yes, okay, that's right.
He killed the walker, and all the other walkers that he created fell.
Right.
So Valyrian steel, dragon glass, and fire are the things that can kill the White Walkers and the Whites.
And they've got all of those.
They've got every piece of Valyrian steel known in the world. Now, there's still pieces of Valyrian steel around. Like, Arya has cat's paw. Jamie has Widow's Wail, which was Ned's sword, Ice, the long sword.
Wait, Jamie
that
has...
had been melted.
Okay, so
Joking.
that was
season.
No, I know, but what it was melted into 2 swords.
Widow's Wail and Oathkeeper. Brienne has Oathkeeper, which was Jamie's sword. Widow's Wail was Joffrey's sword,
right?
Which was given to Jamie. And Jon has Longclaw. Arya has the Cat's Paw dagger, or Cat's Paw, whatever it's called. And Jorah now is holding Heartsbane.
Right. Which was a nice gift.
Was a very nice gift from Sam.
Very nice gift.
Very, very nice.
Very, very nice. And as the head of his household, he could do that. It was very nice. So, and then so there was speculation that people thought that the weapon that Arya was asking Gendry to build had a detachable head. I don't think it was a detachable head, but it was a double-edged bow. Like,
it was a double-edged dragonglass bow, and it does split.
Oh, it does split. Okay, I thought that was just the way she was just drawing it just to show him the pieces.
It splits. That was the whole design. Like, she could... It might be like a projectile, or splits, comes apart in 2 so she can fight two-handed. But we'll see. We'll see.
I'm curious. It was a nice-looking weapon, though. And I love how
he really did well.
He really did well, and I love how she takes it, and she's just like spinning it around, and then she sets it down, and she starts taking her gloves off, and something's going on because she's taking her damn gloves off. And we're back to the beginning of the episode. Wedding. She's seen it with you, but her eyes are up.
Lean back, just enjoy, Gendry, just enjoy.
I love when she says, I'm not the red woman, take your own pants off.
Take your own pants off, yeah. Did you like it with leeches? I was like, ooh. But anyway, well, that's all I have to say about Game of Thrones. That's all I've got to talk about, except for one very important thing. I've had, because we put my email and where you can reach me very readily available, I've had people reach out to me and tell me, damn it, why did you sing the Peter Dinklage song? Damn it, it's stuck in my head now. People can't get rid of it. So
Peter Dinklage,
anyway.
Peter Dinklage.
Just because you requested.
Yes!
Peter Dinklage, star of the show. Peter Dinklage. Nobody else really matters but him. Peter Dinklage.
Oh.
So,
make it stop.
I've had people message me since we've done those little songs now, going, damn it, I hate you for doing that now.
Earworm.
Because now I turn the song on and all they hear is Peter Dinklage.
We have that problem too, and we still do it. We did it last night.
I've got Cole doing it now. We watched last week's episode. She's doing Peter Dinklage. Damn it! I can't take credit for that because it's on YouTube.
I know it's on YouTube, and it's actually a very funny little thing. Oh,
with a
God.
Tyrion Lannister figure spinning on a lazy Susan. I mean, there are some YouTube videos that just you go, why is this on there? But there's very few. There's only like a few that I look at and go, you gotta watch it and you'll never forget them. The Peter Dinklage spinning, singing Peter Dinklage. And then, of course, we're going to go off track here a little bit. Nick Offerman sitting for Lagavulin whiskey, and all he does is for 45 minutes is just sit there and drink whiskey, doesn't say a word, and stares into the camera. You think he's going to speak at one point, and then nope, he just takes another sip of whiskey and then readjusts himself in the chair, stares at the camera, takes the glass, and you think, and he just sips and then goes, and then nods and keeps looking at the camera. And it's him in a big leather chair, this manly study, roaring fire going.
That's awesome.
All he does is just stare at the camera, drinking whiskey.
That's awesome. For 15 minutes?
Yeah, it's like 15 minutes. And somebody said there's a 45-minute version of it. So, I mean, really, you're going to just sit there and stare at the camera for 45 minutes?
How many people have ever looked at it? I bet she's got thousands of looks, about thousands of views.
Probably.
Good Lord. Well, on that note.
But anyway, that's our podcast.
We will talk to you guys this time next week. I'm sure you're hearing a whole bunch of different podcasts, but nobody's as fun as us because I giggle, snort, and he sings.
And I'm terrible. I'm a terrible singer, but I can carry a tune very well with Peter Dinklage, Peter the star of the show now, Peter Dinklage. Really, nobody else matters but him now, Peter Dinklage.
All right. That's a podcast.
That's it. That's gone. If Tyrion dies, we riot. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that we would riot over.
I think we're just touching the tip of the iceberg here this season.
That's what she said. Oh, I'm a little punch drunk, so you say goodnight, Chris.
Good night.
Thanks for joining us here at the Department of Understanding Humans, also known as DUH. Just remember, this is our circus. These are our monkeys. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and other social media outlets. You can find all of our podcasting streams and feeds at our website at www.duhwebsite.com. That's D.U.H website.com. Thanks again for joining us, and have a great day.